make sure that folks speak up. We heard from folks in the back that they cannot fully hear. But isn't that a good problem to have? That there are so many of us standing strong, standing together, that we gotta speak a little bit louder. But I don't think it's a problem, because I think you all showed up here because we want to be so loud they can hear it all the way in Washington, D.C. So with that, I am gonna bring up our next speaker. And what we love about this time together is that we are here because there are so many of us that represent different perspectives and different causes that are working together. And this person represents one of those groups that has been fighting for a very long time in this country. Our next speaker is Carol Rose, the Executive Director of the ACLU in Massachusetts.
Hello, Massachusetts! Woo! I'm Carol Rose, and I am the Executive Director at the ACLU of Massachusetts, and I am grateful to all of you who are showing up for democracy. Thank you. 250 years ago, the good people of Massachusetts showed up, and they told a tyrant king, hands off. And now it's our turn, and history calls us again to action. Now it's our time, and together we say, hands off. Hands off. Our bodies, hands off. Hands off. Our personal data, hands off. Our immigrant neighbors, we say, hands off. Our federal workers, we say, hands off. Our students and our teachers, our schools and universities, we say, hands off. Social Security, we say, hands off. Our Constitution, we say, hands off. You know, courage is contagious. Look at you, we have strength in numbers. And we just saw it this week in Wisconsin, where people power proved stronger than a billionaire's bribe. Courage is contagious, and democracy is a muscle. And the more we flex it, the stronger it becomes. So, we at the ACLU, together with you, we are all about the flex. Who are we? The ACLU is liberty's lawyer. And what's our mission? To defend the constitutional rights of all people. So the right to vote, hands off. Racial justice, hands off. Gender and LGBTQI equality, hands off. Due process for all people, including our immigrant neighbors, hands off. The right to privacy, hands off. The right to reproductive justice, hands off. Right to religion and freedom of belief, hands off. And today, the right to speech and protest, hands off. So how do we do it? Your ACLU, we're litigating in the courts. We're working in Congress, on Beacon Hill, and in City Hall to promote legislation to protect your rights. And your ACLU mobilizes people power online and in the streets to defend everybody's rights. Hands off. Hands off. Never has the mission been greater or the stakes higher. And we're ready to meet the moment. Together with states attorneys general, including our wonderful Attorney General, Andrea Joy Campbell, yay, labor unions, and other civil rights groups, the ACLU has filed more than a quarter of the 150 cases challenging the Trump administration's illegal and unconstitutional executive orders. Starting here in Massachusetts on day one, your ACLU filed a challenge to the executive order to end birthright citizenship, which is clearly unconstitutional as well as cruel. Then we sued again. we sued again on day one to stop efforts to erase transgender people by denying them travel documents like passports. And then we sued again the Department of Education over its unlawful attacks on teachers who simply want to teach lessons about race and history, literature and science. You know, the ACLU believes in science. Yeah. And that's why we sued on behalf of doctors whose patient safety publications were erased for ideological reasons. Then we sued on behalf of researchers whose NIH grants were abruptly canceled for ideological reasons. And just this week, ACLU lawyers were in court on behalf of Rumeysa Ozturk, the graduate student at Tufts. Yeah, Rumeysa. And we've all seen the video of what happened to Rumeysa, and it shocks the conscience. She was walking down the street in Somerville when she was approached and surrounded by 6 plainclothes officers wearing hoods and masks. They stripped her of her cell phone and her backpack. They handcuffed her and they took her into custody for shame. Shame, 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 shame. For nearly 24 hours, Rumeysa's attorneys and even the Turkish consulate couldn't locate her anywhere. We went to the hospitals. We went everywhere looking for her. Meanwhile, ICE agents had secretly moved her across 3 states, secreting her hopscotching across New England. And then finally, they disappeared her into a prison in Louisiana, 1,300 miles away from her community and from her lawyers. Now let's just be clear. For those who don't know, Rumeysa has never been charged with a crime. This happened to her because she published an op-ed a year ago in the Tufts student newspaper. That's shameful. Bring her home. 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 That's right. So we at the ACLU, you know what we did? We sent in our lawyers, and we sent in on her behalf. And I am happy to report some good news here today. Just yesterday, last night, a federal judge in Boston denied the government's attempt to manipulate her case and move it down to Louisiana and granted our motion to keep the case here in New England where we can protect her and bring her home. 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 The ACLU will continue to fight to set Rumeysa free and bring her home and to defend the constitutional rights of all people. And just remember this, defending democracy requires everyone, not just the lawyers and the elected officials, but every freedom-loving person to speak out against tyranny and injustice, like all of you are here today. Thank you for that. It's an all-hands-on-deck moment, and there's much to do. So sign up. Join the groups that are out here who organized us here today. Choose community over chaos. Don't agonize, organize, and don't give up. Show up like you have today. Because courage is contagious. We have the strength in numbers, and it's time to flex. Join me again. Hands off. Our bodies. Hands off. Our data. Hands off. Our neighbors. Hands off. Our workers, hands off. Our democracy, hands off. Thank you.